We have very important presentation coming up now. And for that, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Shridhar Taparia, Business Head, Procol. And this presentation is about embracing change 90 days to procurement excellence. This is a must attend. And now everybody, let's welcome on stage Mr. Shridhar Taparia.
Have everybody's attention, please. Hello. I think we'll let a few people settle up. Quickly introduce myself. I am Shridhar. I am the head of business at Procol. Prior to being at Procol, I was working with an FMCG company, one of the India's largest at that point in time. Before that, I was working in CBRE, a Fortune 500 company, which was an international property consultant. I am a hardcore salesperson that happens to be in procurement domain. And while I see the irony in this, that these functions don't go hand in hand, each and every day when I'm selling, I'm talking to a lot of procurement leaders. Largely, when I started my career, I was working with CBRE, but then when I started my own FMCG brand, I was buying more than 200 line items, 200 SKUs, which included raw material, which included packaging material, which included machinery. Of course, I had the guidance of my then manager, who happens to be a great guy, enabled me in a lot of ways, but I definitely understood the challenges. Then I happened to have met the founders of Procol, and I was also, of course, a client to them, have always been very digitally savvy. And I really loved the idea that Procol was doing, and I started working with Procol back in 2020. I would want to start with the fact, and when it comes to procurement, I read a lot about procurement. What I'd realized is that the first company, the first private limited company was set up in 1860s. The first time, it was called the Lombard Bank. It was based out of the UK. The second instance that I would tell you is the first time procurement as a function was introduced was in 1960s, exactly 100 years later, 97 years later to be precise. The first time CPO as a designation was introduced was in 1990s in the UK again. It was not until the last 30 years that companies had realized that procurement as a function or CPO as a function is important. It was more of a task which was happening in the background where they were acting as a support function. But now, at least in the last 4 years, and I know that I'm a little young for this, but this is coming to a position where procurement people are sitting onto the big table and really deciding the chart and course of the entire company. Today, I want to speak about embracing change 90 days to procurement excellence. Now, what is procurement excellence? I think the first question, Mr. Markan had just mentioned that when sourcing starts, it's usually about penny saved is penny earned. And I was also listening to a few great thoughts by Mr. Jory, where he had mentioned that how digitization becomes extremely important. And that is where the scent comes in, that it's not just about saving the money, procurement excellence, but it's also about bringing processes, digitization, the talent, like that was discussed in the last panel. And that needs to be brought into the entire vision. Now, who is the person that is going to bring in this procurement excellence, this entire change? These are the new generation procurement leaders. Now, who are these new generation procurement leaders? Data suggests that the average tenure of a procurement leader is 4 to 6 years at the company that they're currently working with, and it is backed by an entire overall experience of 10 to 15 years within their particular domains. By the way, that's Mr. Ajitab Sood. Mr. Ajitab Sood, I think somebody here is from Dalmia Cements. They would know him. He was the commercial head at Dalmia Cements, became our customers, helped us scale our product, was so sold on our vision that we were very grateful that he joined us on the board. And he's a typical procurement leader because he had that vision of getting things in process digitally and to scale it up. Now, how does this procurement excellence happen? First of all, let me just tell you that while my experience is probably lower than everybody in this room, I was fortunate enough to talk to about 1,600 people in the last 4 years, CPOs, procurement leaders, procurement head managers. And what we realized is that it usually boiled down to the fact that keep technology chahiye, but the end goal was never defined, which means companies were running an analysis, which is happening here, analyze, strategize, and execute. Analysis was happening that there are certain need gaps, but the strategies were not getting built. What is our point A? Where do we want to go? What is the point B? So we'll discuss analysis first. Now, what would analysis would include? This would largely entail where is our company right now? What is our current process stack? What is our current talent pool within this space? What are our spends? What are our suppliers? Who are our internal and external stakeholders? Which is also called the 3S, spend, suppliers, and stakeholders. Now, who are these stakeholders? Your immediate procurement team. This could be the team that is helping you in your sourcing, in your P2P, in your procurement, etc. Your senior management, people who are deriving that vision. There was again a mention of town hall. I have seen that change happening in procurement teams as well, where the teams are talking about how much cost savings that they want to bring in, what are the technologies that they want to bring in, what are the number of new suppliers that they want to bring in within their businesses in every accounting year. What is the business? A proactive approach is the most effective strategy. You can always keep bringing up those proposals within the management on where is it that you want to go. And your suppliers. I believe that suppliers are the most important part of your business. In fact, Mr. Markan had again mentioned that suppliers aane se innovation aata hai. It's not just about cost. Suppliers aane se new technologies aate hain. Suppliers aane se your business also grow because it's their bread and butter to keep doing that. Now, the next thing that you'd want to do is analyzing spend. And I just want to mention one of the anecdotes with analysis. Last quarter, we started working with one of the largest steel companies of the world. They are probably second or third largest in India. And when we were talking to their CPO, they had just one insight that we want to innovate. Their technology stack was amazing. They had got all the processes, all the technologies right in place, and yet sir ne bola ki Shridhar, we have to innovate. We sat down with their teams 2-3 months. What we realized that their innovation lies in reducing their PR to PO time. That was the kind of innovation that they were looking at, just because certain processes were not fixed. But that analysis came in when that time was spent ki inefficiencies hai kahan par. So opportunity identification is one, and category profiling is second. What are the categories that you're looking at? I was fortunate enough to be talking to a few gentlemen within this group where there was a simple question statement. We want to organize our tail spend management. Category is done. What we want to do with this done. What is the journey that we want to travel done. Everything stitched together in one statement. Sorry. Yeah. So when you're talking about solution stack, there comes your master data management. We talk about ERP systems. We talk about our S2P journeys. We talk about our financial tools. But largely, talking to approximately 1,500 crore plus companies or 1,000 crore revenue companies, what we realize is that data is also not managed everywhere. In fact, I was talking to one company where they wanted to buy water bottle as their admin spends. जो 200 ml का bottle, 500 ml का bottle और 1 liter का bottle था, they were all under same code. So these are the basic important things that are also missed in master data management. Eventually what happens is when you're analyzing this data at the end of the year, it gets fizzled. You don't get the clear picture of what's really happening in your company. Then your business analysis of templates, how are you buying it? How are you interacting with your suppliers? What exactly is the kind of information that you're giving to your suppliers to collect their quotations? Are they able to understand it? And lastly, your spend analysis dashboards. Do you exactly know? Can I see a house of, with the hands of raise if anybody is using Power BI or Tableau for spend analytics? Perfect. I think that's a good 4-5%. I assumed it would be more. But it's a very big problem. People are actually spending a lot of time. The managers would come in, they're building a lot of dashboards, sending it every morning. While everything has been automated, can help us save a lot of time. So your category, your supplier, your process, your alerts and notifications. For example, you've set up a budget of 10 crores to buy your laptops every year. It gets crossed, there are no alerts usually. It's always diagnostic. बाद में पता चलता है कि the error has happened. Second is strategize. We just spoke about analyze, what all to analyze. Strategizing would be defining point A, defining point B, where we are and where we want to go. As simple as that. Procurement excellence is a term which has been used a lot I think it has been used to the extent where it is abused, where companies would not even know that, hey, what is it that we're looking to achieve? I've in fact seen instances where there are bigger consultants, top 4, big 8, big 4, big 4, 8 are hired. And at the end of it all, the cost saving always comes out to be, let's reduce the manpower. And that is the harsh reality. I think a lot of people can adhere to it, that yes, it happens a lot of times. So as you're building your business, you need to understand that where is it that we're looking to go with our strategies. Now, this is something that I saw in one of the forums again. Your sourcing, your purchasing, and accounts payable. So there is a big data. I was reading actually about my competition. There are about 300 companies across the globe which are in the same space as we are, sourcing. There are about 400 companies that are into software purchasing. They're solving the problem of P2P. And there are about 130 million businesses across the globe. Do you see the divide? The amount of digitization scope, the macro level policies, if they are put into place, the amount of data that is still not onto the systems. I understand out of those 130 million, a large part of it would be the smaller business, SMBs, where Excel is good enough. But yet, I think there is still a lot of scope where this could happen. These are few things. For example, I would just request everybody to take 30 seconds and read these questions. What we really do when we are talking to any new customer is we ask them simple question. Can I see a raise of hand? How many people would know in their company what exactly is their PR to PO time? Can I also ask if you would know where are your PRs stuck in the entire, once a PR is raised till the time a PO is released? How many people would know that? Wow. I think backed with technology, right? You must have definitely deployed some software. Perfect. So largely, what we have observed is that people would not know this. Managers would not know this. Eventually आता है कि sir वहाँ पे फंसा हुआ है एक purchase request 10 दिन हो गया अभी तक आया नहीं है. Every PR which is raised is always urgent and important for any business, for any team, for any member. And these are the questions that really make you think what is the nirvana that we want to reach at? Where is it that we want to be at? Becomes extremely crucial for the business. Every time a purchase request to PO time is not defined, there is a problem that your working capital is stuck. आपका 10 दिन का PR का जरूरत था, आपने 30 दिन का स्टॉक होल्ड कर रखा है, 20 दिन का कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल इज गोइंग आउट फ्रॉम योर बिजनेस. Big place for optimizations. And then aiming for profits. Largely, the entire point of strategizing, traveling from point A to point B, is not just to solve for business top line, but also for profits. Now, what are the different methodologies? So there are different methodologies that can be used. One of them is Craig metrics. For me, my favorite is A.T. Kearney's purchasing chessboard. It was released in 2013, which says that demand power and supplier power, there are only 64 ways in which you can reduce or optimize your procurement spends. So these are a few things that have been deployed. There is no 0 to 1 happening here. It's just something that needs to be deployed, bring in the right people, right talent pool, and execute it for the business. And then finally comes the time of executing. Now your point A is defined, point B is defined, and you have to execute it. I'm really sorry, I have to push it a little bit because I'm running short in time. So now you have to just implement the vision, work really closely with your internal stakeholders, your senior management, and through town halls, maybe talk to your suppliers as well that this is what we're looking to achieve at. Be our partner in growth. We want to grow, come grow with us. So you set up the influence, you set the tone right, you set up objectives and goals, and you keep monitoring them. That could be weekly, that could be monthly, quarterly, your MBRs, QBRs, etc. And then comes your executing the solution stack. Solution stack becomes one of the most important keys. So I have seen companies that have deployed ERP systems, but the purchase requests are coming on mails. They are negotiating, there is no e-bidding in place. There are no RFQs or RFIs in place. The purchase orders are going through SAP, your ERP systems, which is the best thing that I've seen happening. But the entire pre-purchase order journey is not digitized for a lot of companies. So you need to ask that before this, is my master data sorted? Where is my PR coming from? Where is my PO going out to? How is the entire process taken care of? What is my entire cycle time? Then you can also deploy your negotiation strategies, and once your stack is defined, you can integrate it with your current systems. That's the new reality. The world is moving fast with uncertainties. I think we saw one of those supply chain disruptions that happened last year with one ship getting stuck in the Suez Canal. The entire world was stuck. In fact, now with Russia-Ukraine war, the G20 summits, the supply anti-dumping duties, everything keeps coming every day. Governments are deciding the course of actions of the businesses, and we need to be really adaptive on how we can be as fast as possible responding to these concerns. And we need to be extremely flexible also so that our business is not getting affected through all of this. This is something that we have deployed at a few companies and helped companies achieve procurement excellence or set up the right direction. I think Mr. Jory had also mentioned that abhi start nahi kiya, we should have started it yesterday. That's what we believe in. And this is where Procol comes in. Procol stands for Procurement Protocol. This is a business that we started back in 2018. We wanted to digitize the entire food mandi business of the country, but 2020 COVID happened, and then the government decided that GEM portals will manage it. So we pivoted, and today we are working with approximately 113 businesses across the country, 1,000 crores and above, and helping them solve their PR to PO business. That's where we are at. We are working with about 50,000 suppliers, 110 large enterprises, managed about 25,000 crores of spend, out of which 12,000 crores had happened last year. These are the two services that we're working with, our software piece and our services piece. So it's a good combination of both a service piece and a software company. This is our executive board. These are our founders, Gaurav and Sumit. Ajitab I've also introduced, that's myself. And this is our advisory board. We are backed by Bloom, BNEX, Zerodha, Rainmatter. These are a few of the key people who are guiding us. What I've also noticed is, speaking to these 1,500, 1,600 companies, is that there is a large scope of entire digitization that can still happen, that can create a lot of synergies with respect to the processes, people, technology altogether. This has not only helped save a lot of time so that it can be invested in other strategic tasks, but also save a lot of cost for the businesses. That's all from my end. I would love it if any questions from you guys.
Does anyone have any question?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any tools for the price predictability?
I think if that were the case, I would probably deploy first of all in stock markets, maybe. But largely, price predictability is something which is backed by a lot of factors. We have tried the price benchmarking. Diagnostically, yes, but predictably, no. But have you come across anything like that where you're able to predict prices on how it's happening?
I have come across, but I'm not getting accuracy more than 50-60%.
Right. So I was fortunate enough to be working with one of the gentlemen who was buying copra. And they were predicting on how many trees of copra have been planted, what was the moisture like, how much rain did it come in, and he was able to predict what would be the volumes of copra that would be harvested. Yet it was not getting in.
No, you're right. There are so many attributes and dimension one has to inbuilt into the data capturing
Correct.
to reach to a desired level.
Correct.
So if
I
somebody
think-
has
I
that
think
experience of doing it,
Maybe 2-3 years from now, we've actually started working on generative AI, where, for example, because we are a mobile-first platform, you just tell me that, hey, how much did I spend last year in XYZ category at ABC location, and your reports are automated. So that's something that we're already doing because the technology has evolved such, but I think price predictability is something that we're currently not into.
that's the challenge. We can predict where the Chandrayaan going to land,
Yeah.
but we are not still struggling to predict prices.
Yeah, I think yes, but it's a good input, maybe, I think.
Okay.
Any other questions? Perfect. Thank you for having me here. Thank you.